We'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. But you can do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland.
Okay. Okay, hey y'all. Okay, well, you're gonna watch this from Jules instead of me reading it and trying to pull cards. I'm not showing my face because I need to take a shower. I just woke up this morning, but I want to go and get this video out here. I've already pitched a fit about yesterday, the stuff with Harsh, not because Harsh did anything, but because just hearing that the victims don't are the other two roommates don't want to be involved, so their families, have paid for their protect this and that and the other. So you're telling me they paid for them to not have to deal with anything, right? Well, that's a bunch of shit because the four that are dead don't have that option. I'm not hushing. I'm not scared. And this is what I have to say to anybody that wants to threaten. I've not been threatened, and I welcome it. But this is what I'm going to tell you if you do. So I'm just letting you know. One, you're making the people that you're trying to protect look very guilty. If they weren't guilty, what needed to happen is I don't expect them to say anything in Moscow. Why would I ever? But when they got home, if their parents can pay for their protection that way, they can pay for them bodyguards. They should have told their parents, hey, I didn't call 911 for 8 hours for this reason. Okay. If there's a reason that needed to be spoken of. And then I wouldn't be saying anything. Neither would anybody else, pretty much. But that did not happen. So this is America. You don't have enough money to pay me because unless you can go pay somebody to bring back Kaylee, Maddie, Santa, and Ethan, then you're not going to make me hush. Threatening me, money, nothing will make me. I'm not going to because that's ridiculous. There's something wrong with that situation. I don't care how you put it. If you look up anywhere, it tells you that when you know something's going on and you think somebody's not alive, and I'm sorry, she heard something. She watched a masked man walk by. Oh, no, no big deal. People like that come to parties all the time. That don't even make any good sense, dude. Nope, not today. Hang on one second. Let me get these dogs. Hush, poo poo, now. Okay. Anyways, let me let this dog out of here before I have to kick her. But get out of here. Come on, go. Y'all go. Go, go, go. I'm recording. Go. Go. Oh, hell no. Y'all, I'm sorry. These stupid dogs are making me mad. Anyway, they gonna bark again because she wouldn't even go out of here, and I'm trying to do something. So, and I'm not recording this again because I've done had to stop it 5 times, and I'm just aggravated now, and I don't want to stop it. So, real life, sorry. Real reality, sorry, sorry, sorry. If everybody else's life is perfect, great. Mine's not. Somebody tell me how to do it, and I'll be glad to try anything. And I'm not ill with anybody here, y'all. I'm just as sickening at the case. Everybody, you cannot keep if everybody's afraid to talk, nothing's then that means they win. Okay, it doesn't matter if your kid gets killed or not because guess what? Somebody's gonna pay somebody off. If this was opposite, if these two girls were victims and it was the other ones doing this, what would happen? What would their parents be saying? They would probably be pissed. And I'm sorry. I mean, that's just the way it is. So my mom, I'm sorry. I don't know. I know there's other parents out there that would not. My mother would not be protecting me like this because it actually puts you in more danger. She would, but see, I wouldn't have never not. I would, honey, I'd been calling my mom and daddy if I was that scared and I didn't want to call the police. I would be calling my mom and daddy. They're not that old. Why wouldn't they call them? They call them for anything else. That don't make sense. None of that makes sense to me. Frozen shock stage, and I'm going over that fight or flight thing. That's in this emotional stuff I'm going over. The fight or flight. None of that made any sense. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, we're going to watch Jules and listen, and I'm going to pull cards, but what I'm going to do is I'm not letting it go all the way through to pull cards because I can't remember what she's saying when she's saying it, so I'm going to stop it as these cards fall out, and we'll go over it as she's talking. And it's about the house being tore down, and it's better for me to do it that way than try to read and then do the cards. So she explains it, and the stuff she's talking about is relevant. It's basically what I would say, so that's why I picked this video. Please go like and subscribe to her. She's just very blunt, like I am. if she says something that comes out like word vomit, she cleans it up, like I do, because I just say what I say because it's coming from my heart, and then I fix it so that it doesn't, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to sugarcoat it, but I'm like, okay, I explain what it means because people take things personal sometimes. I don't know any of you personal for this to be any personal to y'all, so nobody feel like I'm being personal to y'all like that because it's not. I don't know anybody personally, so
team are going to be over at King Road taking measurements, taking photos, doing drone
all
footage,
right, I'm gonna start this over,
probably.
y'all.
Things that I
Thumbs up.
kind of expected to have already been done at this point. And
All right, we're
it
starting
looks
this over. Okay. Let me shuffle these cards real quick and, start shuffling anyway. Okay.
Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. So today, the University of Idaho put out an official statement regarding the demolition of the King Roadhouse. Now, apparently, and we are going to read the statement, but
Crud.
apparently today the
Hang on, y'all.
14th and tomorrow the 15th, the defense team, Brian Koberger's defense team,
Hush,
are going
I mean, not Jules. I'm
to
saying
be
hush
over at
me.
King Road.
Wait a minute. We're gonna start this over again, y'all. I'm gonna let her start talking, and
It
then
looks
I'll
like
do
we
it.
have an
I'll show you
update
the
on the
cards.
King Roadhouse. Let's get into it. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. So today, the University of Idaho put out an official statement regarding the demolition of the King Roadhouse. Now, apparently, and we are going to read the statement, but apparently today the 14th and tomorrow the 15th, the defense team, Brian Koberger's defense team, are going to be over at King Road taking measurements, taking photos, doing drone footage probably. Things that I kind of expected to have already been done at this point, and definitely way before all of the different.
Okay. So when she started talking, we have the Five of Wands that come out in reverse, and that's conflict, avoidance, harmony, peace, harmony, release of tension and conflict, end of conflict, cooperation agreements. And that to me is just agreeing that the defense is agreeing for the house to be torn down. Hang on, y'all. I'm going to have to scoot her over a little bit or scoot her down. Okay. Okay. And then we have the high priestess that come out, and that's the one that knoweth but do not say anything. Intuition, mysteries, sacred knowledge, divine feminine, and it's a feminine energy, inner knowing, subconscious spirituality, high power, inner voice. Okay. And I mean, that could be for the prosecution. That could be for them talking about the university wanting the house down. I mean, that's really what I think it is. They have higher knowledge, or whoever's doing this stuff has higher knowledge. Nostalgia, childhood, or the past, memories, familiarity. This is Six of Cups, so that checks out. That is nostalgia, reminiscing, talking about the house. Okay. And then Three of Cups in reverse, independence, third party situation, scandal, gossip, over party, and not support. So this is usually three people coming together. This is where the three are not, and this probably has to do with the parents not agreeing, us not agreeing, but the powers that be there wanting it down. So there's not agreement on this whole situation. Is what they're saying. Okay, I'm gonna bring her back up here, and I'm gonna try to get in the camera a little bit more. That drives me nuts. Okay.
In structure have now taken place, right? Because we know that they've had cleanup crews go in there. We know that they've had some parts of the house actually removed and brought into the labs. All of the doors are closed off, all of the windows are closed off. There's a lot of structural.
Okay. So this lack of progress, immature, underachiever, missed opportunity, poor prospects, foolish, lazy, missed chances, and this is Page of Pentacles. And when she's talking about the removal of stuff from the house, that's what it's going to create for it could create that for the jury or even anybody else, the FBI or anybody else investigating. I know the FBI's already went back in there. No, I do not think that the only thing they were doing was getting the 3D models. I think they were in there getting other evidence. That's just what I think, though. That's my opinion. Oh, this is my opinion, speculation, my opinion, not fact. This is me reading cards, energy off the cards. None of this is fact. There's my spiel. Um, then Five of Swords come out, a fair light, peace after trouble, making amends, reconciliation, past resentment, regret, remorse, cutting loose, resolution. So this is just a situation in itself being trying to call. This is where they're saying that they're wanting peace. I think some of the ones that want the house down literally really want it not to be a reminder. Like the people that live there, it is probably very hard. However, most of them did understand the reason they were doing this. I don't know if this means the parents are just going to they're just like, fine, just do it because y'all are going to anyway or what. And I think we're all there. So that's probably what that card is. Um, Knight of Pentacles, upright, practical, reliable, stoic, slow, steady, hardworking, committed, grounded, patient, efficient, conservative, and pragmatic. I think this is what the university and stuff is kind of portraying to be. Like, look, we've waited, we've done this, we're in agreement, we let y'all do what you want, and now we just want it down. Honestly. Six of Wands in reverse, retreat after failure, fear of failure, giving up, lack of confidence, egoism, no reward, lack of achievement, and private. Well, that to me has to do with the situation as well. Somebody is not getting what they want. And I don't know if the prosecution and defense are working together at this point. All of that's confusing, but right now I'm just going to leave them separate. I might have to put them together in a little bit after we figure out more, but this to me is the prosecution can't get what they want, so they want to take it down so that this other evidence that can be go away or whatever. It may not, but to me that's what this is saying. Okay, turning her back on now.
Changes today that were not there the night that all of this happened. We also have to remember the Pharaoh scanning was done twice. So anything when it comes to the demolition of King Road has been a big, huge problem because it shouldn't even be a topic of discussion until after trial. And that's just like normal thinking. I don't really.
Okay. And yes, I'm stopping this a lot. I know that, but I want to make sure I'm reading these cards. I'm going to pick them up in order so I can write them down, but I'm trying to take as less time as I can doing this so it don't aggravate people. Usually I don't care about that, but I'm trying, so. The Magician in reverse, manipulation, unfulfilled potential, scattered energy, wasting resources, illusions, out of touch, deception. And that's what I believe. She was talking about that's what I believe is going on here, and that's why they're really pushing for it to be tore down. And I don't know that that doesn't mean that the president has anything to do with it. I know it's given to the University of Idaho. He's the president. That does not mean he has pressures on him too. I don't really think he has anything to do with this situation per se, in the fact that he planned anything, that he did anything. He may have higher knowledge of what's going on. And yes, that's a guilt. But as far as beforehand or anything, no, I don't think the man had anything to do. I'm not getting any of that with him. Nothing. That's why I hadn't done a reading on him because he grew up in that town. Of course, why couldn't he be a college? Why couldn't he be the president? He knows the college. He went there. He lived there. Whatever. And now this too. This is Six of Cups in reverse. I'm sorry, I lied to y'all. Nine of Cups in reverse, and it's a wish fulfillment, contentment, satisfaction, emotional richness, life abundance, success, achievements, recognition, and pleasure. And this is them getting what they want with the house going down. May it be the prosecution. I don't really think it's the defense. I think the defense agrees with the house going down because unless they're working together and then they could be agreeing. But the reason I think is because they're just tired of fighting it. Like, let them get what they need to get out of there and do what you're going to do because they have other crap to worry about, in my opinion. But okay, and then I'm sorry, y'all. This is strength. I don't know what I'm reading. Self-love and respect, unconditional love, courage, inner strength, influence, compassion, persecution, inner stillness. So I think this is, the strong arm of it, the strength. Like the strength is the strength of the power of the powerful people are overriding the concern of the trial and this case being solved. Because if if the jury says he's innocent, now what? You have no house, you have these 3D models. I just don't understand this. But anyway, So I'm trying to keep my opinion out of it. I am throwing it in here some, but for the card's sake, I'm just reading them how they are coming. Six of Wands in reverse, retreat after failure, see, fear of failure, giving up, lack of confidence, egoism, no rewards, lack of achievement. Oh, I read that one. Y'all, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry, I'm at this one. Picked up the wrong card. Sorry. Wow. This is, I cannot see, Four of Pentacles, generosity, giving over, spending, overspending, greed, openness, financial insecurity, reckless. So that's what I think this is. That I think that decision is that right there, reckless, and of greed.
Care about the way that technology apparently is supposed to make things easier or make it to where the jurors can have some sort of realistic 3D virtual walkthrough of the house and have a virtual high-tech representation shown to them about what possibly happened that night. There is nothing like the real thing. And you can literally put that statement on almost everything. So as you can see, this is straight from the University of Idaho's website. I know there was a couple of people sharing the statement on Twitter, but they weren't showing the link to the actual website to the university, which I thought was kind of strange. So I just went ahead and went and found it myself, and this is it. And I will have a link to this actual article on the University of Idaho's website down in the description box. So this states King Roadhouse access given to Coburger Defense, demolition set for December the 28th. Now that's like 2 days before the 1 year mark of his arrest. So again, it's been a year. It's been over a year since the actual murders, and it's been almost a year since they finally put someone in handcuffs. December 14th.
Okay. We have the lovers in reverse, self love, imbalance, disharmony, breakup, arguments, discord, bad choices, conflict, detachment, and indecision. And I think that is coming because of the energy of us, of some of the parents, of maybe even some of the people in the town, and it could be even a defense. You know, some of the defense team feels that way, or even maybe some of the prosecution that aren't speaking up. The people that are not like in with the bad. I don't think they're all bad. So I think that energy is coming literally from people in that police department too that know that that house needs to stay up. I think it's coming from a lot of different places. Knight of Cups, moody turmoil, avoiding conflict, vanity, disappointment, unrealistic, and jealousy. That's just more off that energy. The Fool in reverse, carelessness, being unprepared, holding back, afraid to start something new, fully naivety, poor judgment, lack of direction. That's exactly what this is. And I think in the end, this is the energy that people are feeling because they're scared that's what's going to happen, especially if they say there's more people involved, if they find him non guilty, which we know there's more people involved, but if the jury finds him not guilty, there's a problem. That means this shit just ends. Like, what do you do now? And I think that's what they're wanting to happen, and that really, really makes me irate. The Empress in reverse, creative block, dependence on others, secrecy, lack of growth, uncaring, insecurity, overbearing, negligence, and smothering. So I think they were being forced about this house. They've just been, and I think that's one reason the defense is just like whatever because it's just over and over and over. Page of Wands, self-limiting beliefs, impatient, immaturity, unreliable, distracted, boring, tantrums, hasty, lacking ideas, laziness. That's just what I said. That they've been just smothering them and keeping on about it. Eight of Pentacles, lack of focus, quality, motivation, or ambition. Perfectionism, lack of desired output, lazy, dead end job, low skills, mediocrity. And that is exactly like I think that's where people are because they're tired of hearing like they're being pushed. Just okay. And then the moon. Here we go. Illusions, hidden, subconscious, the unseen, the unknown, fears, trusting intuition, uncertainty, confusion, secrets, complex. Exactly. This could be about people's intuition about them taking that house down that is wrong, and this is also about the secrecy around taking that house down.
14th, 2023, because yes, this was published earlier today. Teams representing the defense for Brian Koberger will access the King Road House today and tomorrow, Thursday, December 14th, and Friday, December 15th. The defense asked University of Idaho in November for access to the house in December as they prepare their case for a trial, the date of which has not been set. The defense indicated they want to take photographs, measurements, and possibly gather drone footage of the house.
Okay, so we had the hangman yes, in reverse come out. Delays, resistance, indecision, standstill, apathy, selfishness, victim mentality, dis, disinterest, stagnation, avoiding sacrifice. And this is the card where it's trying to play the victim. And so this is where they're using the statement, well, it's making, the town, it puts a sore spot there. So that's where that's coming in, I believe. Then we have talk, no action, gossip, insulting, scatterbrain, cynical, sarcastic, lack of planning. Now, this may be because she's fixing to start talking about whether they actually take it down or not. And this could be, what that's coming from. The wheel in reverse, bad luck, clinging to control, stuck in karmic cycles, resistance to change, unwelcome change. And this is the energy coming off people too. We think it's a bad idea. It's going to be bad luck to take that house down. Change is not welcome right now. It doesn't need to be changed right now. Queen of Cups in reverse, insecurity, overly sensitive, needy, fragile, codependence, victim mentality, giving too much, martyrdom. This again is where they're playing on everybody's emotions, saying, "Well, she's fixing to start reading that," where they're taking it down because it's an eyesore and they can't move on without taking that house down. Okay. And that what they say is, we understand the family, but it's time now. It's just time now. We gave y'all all this time. It's time now. Five of Pentacles, financial loss, poverty, lack mindset, isolation, shut out in the cold, worry, hardship, adversity, persistence of spiritual poverty. That's exactly what they're using. And because they are worried about, they're trying to isolate the situation to make it where they can't get anything else out of it. So I just don't understand where they think that they're going to have a hanged man when it comes to that case.
Following this, the university will prepare for demolition of the house. Demolition will begin Thursday, December 28th, and it may take several days to completely clear the site. Media instructions for viewing the demolition are found below. The house was given to the university in early 2023. It is the site where U of I students Ethan Chapin, Xander Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Consalvis were killed. It has been the intention of the university since being given the house to demolish it. It's the grim reminder of the heinous act that took place there, President Scott Green said. And I know that there's a whole bunch of background information when it comes to Scott Green, okay? And apparently, because he's the president. He's the president of the University of Idaho. And I know that there's people that have found out that Scott Green, as a child, lived in King Road, lived in the King Road house. He grew up there. And there's all kinds of conspiracies and stuff going around with that. But we haven't heard anything about him having a horrible childhood or anything like that. And the house is getting demolished. It's not being kept and, being created as some sort of memorial or historical marker or anything like that. It's getting demolished to the ground. So I don't know what him growing up in that house honestly has anything to do with anything. It's not an uncommon thing for people that work in certain areas and that grew up in.
Okay, I did stop and take a drink there, but the reason I did is the energy just kind of went stagnant. Like I didn't feel anything because what she's saying is she does not think there's a conspiracy behind the house of it being haunted or something bad happening when he was younger. He may actually be upset about his house being taken down. I don't think it's just in his hands about the house. He's not the sole decision maker of this. He's being come at too about it. Okay, so that's what I'm saying with that. Oh shit, shoot. Okay. Um. Yes, yes, that one. And then where were we? We were Five of Cups. Okay, so these. Okay, so one, two, three. I'm moving these over so I'll knock them off, y'all. Okay, so Five of Cups, upright, regret, failure, disappointment, grief, pessimism, feeling abandoned or unloved, loss, sadness, mourning, and discontent. And I think that a lot has energy to do with that. Still, the president and stuff, that could be his energy. I think it's got to do with Kaylee's parents' energy, all the parents' energy. A lot of the people around there's energy, even though they may want it to come down, it's still it's kind of a really it's a closure. It shouldn't be happening yet, but that's what a lot of that is. Ace of Cups, love, new relationship, compassion, creativity, new emotions, emotional awakening, deeper feelings, proposal, spirituality, intimacy. And this is the reason they're saying they're doing this, so people can move on. And that's what that is, creating something new. Um, the Chariot in reverse, lack of movement, self discipline, opposition, giving up, losing direction, forceful, powerless, aggression, and obstacle. And I mean, that's the way I feel that we all feel. It's just an obstacle that's not, we can't get any satisfaction. We've done petitions. It's been that. That could be some of the parents' energy, some of the other people in the town that thinks it needs to stay there's energy. Um, and then the Five of Pentacles come up: financial loss, poverty, lack, mindset, isolation. I read these. Did I read all these? Or that's that one. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm losing it. Okay. Four of Swords in reverse: ready to act, re-entering the world, recovery, restlessness, burnout, exhaustion. So I think that's where a lot of people are with this and fighting about the house. I mean, I just do. The Hierophant come up: spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, traditions, conviction, conformity, education, knowledge of this. I think usually comes up for the organization, which it could be some of the organization's energy plus because she's talking about the school and the president. So that's where I think that's coming from. Okay, okay, and then we had the Queen of Pentacles come up: nurturing, practical, generous, welcoming, sensible, luxurious, caring, homebody, good business sense, and working parent. This energy could be coming up for like this could be false because like in reverse, this is a selfish person, self-absorbed, greedy, jealous, gold digger. So I think that's coming up as really probably should be in reverse, but you can do it as you can do this upright with the cards around it in reverse without having to be in reverse. And that's why I'm reading it. Because a lot of people read reversals as reversals, and when they come up, like depending on the situation, if they don't read reversals, they actually still do because depending on the situation is how they make that card out to be. Okay. So, and this is Judgment in reverse, unfinished lessons, self doubt, self loathing, ignoring and resisting the universe, self doubt. This is saying don't. This is judgment that's unfinished. This is not finished judgment, and that's what this is meaning. Like failure to learn a lesson, unfinished lessons. There's unfinished things that's not found in the house, and that's why they're wanting to do this. Okay.
Certain areas to be involved in their communities like that. It's not uncommon at all for someone who grew up in a town to eventually get a job in the same town and, still have some sort of communication in some way with their childhood home. It's just not that unusual. I know people are trying to make something out of that. I just honestly don't see what it could be, considering the house is being destroyed. While we appreciate the emotional connection some family members of the victims may have to this house, it is time for its removal and allow the collective healing of our community to continue. See, I don't really know if that statement's accurate. And see, I know Christy in one of the latest interviews, she made it sound as if, that house being destroyed was going to be like an emotional day for her. But I think it's only really like an emotional day because it still is a signification, I guess. I can't really figure out the word I'm trying to use for that. But it's still like a symbol for what happened to her daughter and what happened to Maddie, right? And for what they're having to go through as a family. But when it comes to that house having like memories for any of the family members, as far as I know, at least when it comes to Kaylee, Christy herself said she's never gone over there. Even though Maddie lived there for a while before Kaylee moved in, she was never over there. So there's no like special memories that took place in that house for them to have like collective. So really it's just a symbolism of something tragic in their lives. It's not really like an emotional connection that they have to the house itself. It's more of like what the house actually means in the distance. At least that's my opinion. The decision to tear down the home during winter break was made as an attempt to decrease further impact on the students who live in that area. See, that actually kind of makes more sense with the timing that they're trying to do this with. Like, I still disagree with the whole thing. I believe, regardless of how messed up the structure of the house is, whatever, the right thing to do would be to leave it until trial was over. I mean, even if appeals and stuff end up getting filed or whatnot, at least leave it until the trial is over. I just don't understand what the big deal is. That's the right thing to do in a lot of people's minds. Some people say, whatever, just get rid of it and let's move on already. But in reality, the real right thing that everyone knows should happen here is the house should stand until trial. Once that's done, do what you will. But it does make sense because during winter break, most people go home. So all of that construction stuff that's going on there, it isn't going to interfere with anyone's normal day-to-day life or them being able to not study or anything like that because of all of the noise and the chaos. So again, the timing, even though I disagree on the whole thing, in general, the timing, it makes sense. Germer or Germer, one of the two, construction, will serve as general contractor and provide project oversight while also performing site rehabilitation, grading, utility disconnection, and demolition assistance at a reduced cost to the university. So even though, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. The university is having to pay for the house to get taken down because it wouldn't be a state expense. It wouldn't be something that like the state or the prosecution would have to pay for. It's not a tax dollar situation. It's the university having it paid for. But I highly doubt that that's just like in the budget, right? So I'm wondering who's helping the university actually pay for that. In late October, the FBI accessed the house to gather additional data. As explained to the university, the scanning done by the FBI will allow them to create visual aids that could be used in the trial. And we've talked about this because they were supposed to have trial in
Shining light
October.
on something.
And
FBI.
before everything got pushed
I'm
back,
gonna do
we
the other
were
ones. That
being
gave me
told by
chills.
both
Oh, that gave me chills.
sides that it was okay if the house went away because it was basically useless. It was trash to both the defense and the prosecution. There was no reason to even bother with it anymore. It could go. Bye-bye. But then everything got pushed back and they're like, oh, now we have time to do the Pharaoh scanning the right way because whatever we had before, like we told everyone that it was going to be enough. We told everyone that we had what we needed and that we were trial ready with what we had already, but that wasn't true. So we're so glad that they decided to push everything back because now we can go and do it right. That's what all of that was to me. That's how I saw that entire thing. Because the second that they had the chance to, they went back and they redid the scan. And one thing is still like bothering me is how not only the defense is okay with the demolishing of the house, but also of like the no camera thing. Because I know if I was completely innocent of something and I was going in front of a court and it was going to be a televised situation, I would want the cameras there for everyone in the world to see my truth. I would want everyone and the most people possible to know my truth. So the fact that Brian's okay with the cameras being taken out has kind of always bothered me because, I'm on the fence about what's happening here. And I'm really more concerned about, where the DNA samples were that John Daniels acquired from Brian Koberger's apartment from the search warrant for the first 10 days before they were put where they were supposed to be. And we've got no real information about where they were or what was going on to that piece of evidence, or shall I say those 3 pieces of evidence for those 10 days, right? We have all of these issues with the IGG stuff and all this secrecy. If things were more open, like a lot of these cases, they're clear cut and dry. They're black and white. You can't really sit there and pick them apart because they've got it together and it's noticeable. But we don't have that here. And that's why we have so many questions. This isn't like a lot of cases. That's the reason why it has so much attention. It's not just the fact that they're claiming that one man took away 4 lives in a matter of 8 minutes here, because that's what they're trying to tell us, guys. That is what they're trying to tell us. But also the way that things were happening, the way that things were found, a lot of this stuff, it just doesn't add up. It's not mathing to me. And I am not a complete idiot. I am not a fool. I'm not the smartest person on the planet. I know I've been wrong plenty of times, but there's just things here that just don't math to me. And I don't want the wrong person to be, put in front of a firing squad, but I don't want the wrong person to be let go either. If he's the one who did it, then they need to literally show their smoking gun. but I think that they thrive on this chaos. I really think that they do, because they can complain all they want to, okay, about true crimers and people coming to the area to take a look of what's going on, and
Hang on,
people
y'all.
talking about that area and blah 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 blah. But how much money are they making?
Okay. So I'm gonna have to take some of these cards up because I've got cards all the way over here. Okay, so where did we leave off? The Hierophant, Judgment. Okay. Let me tell you how I'm gonna do this. Hold on just a second. We're gonna do this like this for a second. Okay, I'm gonna take these cards up like this. Like this, so that way they're in order. How we read them. Just because I'm gonna write them down. Okay. Now these. These. I was trying to figure out, remember how they come in. Oh, hang on. I have a lot of them over here. These. These up here. I'm still gonna have to put some of them over here still. Okay. I'm doing these like this because I can't get them right there. I'll take those up as I do them. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. 4. Doing these in rows of 4 because it's the easiest way for me. Oh, I did that wrong. Okay, Tower and Temperance. Okay, sorry, y'all. Okay. I'll put these over there when I can get them over there. Okay. So for the rest of what she was talking about, like she was talking about them taking a house down and not, the reasons they were taking it down and the timing and all that. And then she started talking about the trial and stuff. So choices, decision, first step, choosing path, future planning, in the dark, preparing to leave, comfort zone, should I stay or should I go, 2 of Wands. And that's like the house, the whole situation around the house. Should it go down, should it not go down, should it go down, should it not go down? That's what that means to me. Okay. I'm gonna put these like this because that's why I have them. Okay. And then the Page of Cups come out, idealism, dreamer, sensitivity, naivety, innocence, inner child, intuition, messages, curiosity, possibilities, head in the clouds. And this is, I think, with the energy of some of the students, like what they can do there for a memorial. I don't even know if they're making one, but I think that's what the students, the energy from them and the teachers and stuff, okay? And then freedom, new awareness, release, surrender, survivor, liberation, escape, facing fears. Eight of Swords in reverse. To me, this is more energy of like, they take this house down, we don't have to worry about whatever they might find. I will say this, where's the sun? Okay, the sun's down there. This is about the FBI because I stopped, I put that in front of y'all where y'all can see that, okay? So this is all before she started talking about the FBI going back in there. Delays, impatience, frustrations, hot temper, arrogance, recklessness, lack of self-control, passive, violate, demeanor. Knight of Wands in reverse. So let me go back to where
they were put where they were supposed to be, and we've got no real information, completely innocent of something, go bye-bye. But then everything got pushed back, and they're like, oh, now we have time to do the pharaoh scanning the right. Scanning done by the FBI will allow them to create visual aids that could be used in the trial. And we've talked about this because they were supposed to have trial in October.
This is about ambitious, fast thinking, success driven, assertive, direct, impact, intellectual, daring, focused, and perfectionist. And I think this is them coming in like the whole situation about pushing that trial back. They had to do something fast because, you know, they weren't getting everything. Okay. This is Ace of Pentacles. It's about the house. Last opportunity, stressing about finances, unfulfilled potential, retracting an offer, missed chances, secrecy, and defiancy. That's the house situation. Okay, and then we have Ten of Swords, and this is painful ending, stabbed in the back, loss, being left out to bleed, crisis, deep wounds, collapse, exhaustion, betrayal, and failure. And that is the energy surrounding that, the death in the house. Waiting for your ship to sail in. This is Three of Wands. Awaiting results on the decision made, progress, expansion, confidence, new horizons, growth, foresight, milestone. This, I think, is information. This has leads up to the FBI coming in. Hang on.
October, and before everything got pushed back, we were being told by both sides, that it was okay if the house went away because it was basically useless. It was trash to both.
Okay, so this King of Wands, natural born leader, vision, boldness, daring, charm, entrepreneur, power, big picture, optimism, taking control. This is where the defense and the prosecution were saying the house can go down. That's their decision. However, the devil, toxic energies, obsessions, attachments, addiction, oppression, abuse, shadow self, materialism, sexual lust, greed, and envy. That's what come in, I think, right here while she was talking about this.
The defense and the prosecution.
And this too, family trouble, disconnection, misaligned values, broken or struggling relationship, unhappy home, separation, disharmony. This is Ten of Cups in reverse, and that's what happened in the house. It turned the house upside down. This is also the opposition of the people saying, wait, don't take the house down yet. There's still more. And I don't know if the FBI was telling them that too, and that could be. We may never know that. I will tell you why I think it was them. We have this card coming in, King of Swords, mental clarity, intellectual power, truth, authority, reason, discipline, high standards, head over heart, integrity, serious, strict. That's why I think the FBI stopped some of this. The good FBI, that is. Transitions, leaving behind, moving on, calmer waters, distance, accepting lessons. This is, I think, the president's feelings of that Six of Swords. He's just trying to let the students move on because I think he's getting a lot of complaints from maybe some of the people that he don't realize are, in bad ways. Or maybe he does know, I don't know. Two of Pentacles in reverse, one commitment, disorganization, inability to commit, struggling to juggle. That was the decisions on the house because one side, well, there was people wanting it more than others. Okay, and then we have Seven of Wands, exhaustion, giving up, overwhelmed, weak boundaries, quitting, giving up, admitting defeat, yielding, and surrender. And that, I think, is when they decided to leave the house up. Eight of Cups, fully learning from the past, returning home, aimlessness, staying in a bad situation, avoidance, fear of change. And that has to do with the people around the case that know they've done something wrong or something's wrong. That's them freaking out a little bit. And this is the Two of Cups, and it's right beside the Sun, which I'll tell y'all.
Prosecution. There was no reason to even bother with it anymore. It could go. Bye-bye. But then everything got pushed back, and they're like, oh, now we have time to do the Pharaoh scanning the right way because whatever we had before.
And I know Jules is upset about that, but I think that was just their excuse to go back in there. Because I think some of those cards about fighting had to do with the good FBI and the bad FBI fighting about them getting it approved to go back in the house. And I believe that. I did a reading on that. I'm going to do another reading on that now, not right this second. But since this has happened, now the house is coming in. It's funny how that happens, but this is what I got right. What she was saying about the FBI and the Pharaoh scan. unified love, partnership, mutual attraction, romantic love, connection, mutual respect, joining forces, close bonds, and unity. I don't know if the good police maybe at Moscow or whatever, or somebody may be working with the FBI that is actually involved, but they don't feel comfortable working with Moscow police. They don't trust them. That could be that. Then the sun comes out, and this is why I think the FBI was in there, not just for that stupid Pharaoh scan. And I'm not calling Jules stupid. I'm saying though, because I was like that too. So they didn't do the Pharaoh scan right. I don't think that's the truth. I think that they said that, but what they went in there for was the sun right here, shining light on new things. They found new things. They found new things out. Something happened. Okay, and then we have this come out right after Queen of Swords. Manipulative, harsh, bitchy, cold, spiteful, cruel, deceitful, unforgiving, pessimistic, malicious, and bitter. And I think that is what the FBI found when they went back in that house. That the stuff, or they thought that was the situation, the reason they were going back in that house, and that's what they found when they went back in that house too. Stuff was not done right. The Hermit in reverse. Isolation, loneliness, withdrawal, being stuck, repeating past mistakes, loneliness, antisocial, and rejection. That is what I feel like courts were sucking in their butthole, basically. Somebody was, and some of the higher ups were. Okay, we'll finish.
Before, like, we told everyone that it was going to be enough. We told everyone that we had what we needed and that we were trial ready with what we had already, but that wasn't true. So we're so glad that they decided to push everything back, because now we can go and do it right.
And I think that is one reason the trial got set back too. And we have justice in reverse, and I'll explain that in a minute. This is Queen of Wands, confident, independent, social butterfly, creative, self-assured, passionate, dream nation, charismatic, and vivacious, optimistic. So I believe that's the energy of the person that got the FBI to take a better look at this. Perseverance, resilience, testing of faith, the final push, boundaries, last stand, grit, close to success, fatigue. And this is the real push of it. This is Nine of Wands. And I believe that's the energy that pushed that to happen, because it was done because justice in reverse. Justice would not be served. It's going to be dishonesty, unfairness, bigoted lawsuits, legal issues, dishonesty, lack of accountability, and retribution. And that is why I think this happened. Now, that could also be so the scan's done right too, because it needs to be for it to be honest. But I believe, I'm telling y'all, the energies I got, I'm going to do another FBI poll after this, like I said, sometime today or tomorrow. Time to make a move, reach on impasse, stalemate, deadlock, decision, conclusion to be had. Two of Swords, trying to make a decision. Like making a decision, you know what I mean? Well, no, that's the making a decision that they had to make a decision to get back in there. They had to get back in there. Okay. That's why I think the defense is going back in there, because remember, the defense didn't want to, but then they asked, could they? And I think that's why. Delegation, release, taking a break, finally saying no, freedom, lightning to the load. And this is Ten of Wands in reverse. That way, they're carrying a heavy burden. This way, lightening the load. Now, what's that for? I'm not sure yet. I think honestly. Then we have the Four of Cups, contemplation, apathy, reevaluation, feeling unfulfilled, missed opportunity, indifferent, discontent, melancholy. That is the reason they went back in there. They felt something was missed. Okay.
That's what all of that was to me. That's how I saw that entire thing. Because the second that they had the chance to, they went back and they redid the scan. And one thing is still like bothering me is how not only the defense is okay with the demolishing of the house, but also of like the no camera thing. Because I know if I was
Okay, and this is heartache, emotional pain, sorrow, trauma, grief, hurt, loss, depression, and broken. I mean, this could be a lot of things, but the Tower is right after that, and then Temperance, which is unbalanced. The imbalance, because it's in reverse, the Temperance is. The Tower, I think, It's a crashing moment for somebody. That heartache is for somebody that did not want, that wanted this house down before. They wanted that house down before. When the FBI and then went back in there, I think that moment happened for them. I think a lot of stuff started coming out, turning over, and everything else. Because if you notice, that's when Dylan's, if you put all this timeline stuff together, that's when Dylan's stepmom and them put this timeline together. Go back, and I might do a video on that. Go back, put all of this together. Now that we're knowing this, now that we're knowing what they've been doing this whole time, put the timeline together whenever Dylan's stepmom come out and said that she was having all these problems. Then, accidentally, pictures come out of her partying. You know what I mean? But this timeline had to do with all of that. Think about that. Ace of Swords, confusion, stress, miscommunication, mental blocks, rethinking an idea, poor judgment, dishonesty, hostility, arguments, and destruction. Seven of Cups, choices, clouded judgment, many options, illusions, opportunities, wishful thinking, searching for purpose, indecision, disarray. This put them in all kind of, they did not know what kind of decision to make, and that's why our stepmom come out, and then them pictures come out, and that just like, it's been, and then threats started coming, which I think some people have been getting threats before them, and then threats started, just all this. Leaving home, lack of roots, arguments, conflict with others or in life, lack of support, instability, feeling unwelcome. Four of Wands. I think when that picture come out of Dylan too, and I know that we're talking about two different things, but this is all the background information to what Jules is talking about. So that these energies can come out because it has to do with the surrounding factors. That is a surrounding factor. I think that made her, that's what that made her. These come out toward the end, and y'all will be able to see and tell me in the comments. I'm going to let the video play after I say all this, and these are the rest of the cards, and y'all figure out when that day come out, and we'll talk about it in the next video. But devoted, emotionally mature, and balanced, intuitive, compassionate, supportive, and empath. King of Cups, so that's somebody that's trying to rescue a situation, basically. Fast communication, movement, rapid change, immediate action, excitement. That is the Eight of Wands. Death in reverse, resistance to change, inner purging, stagnation, inability to change, stuck, decay, repeating negative patterns. Okay? The Emperor, excessive control, inflexibility, big ego, power struggles, immaturity, poor planning, tyrant, domineering, rigid, recklessness. The Emperor. That is somebody that is in control of the whole situation. The Empress is usually who I find is the link, but this is the guy that's in charge, maybe. Then we have Three of Pentacles, collaboration, teamwork, skills, shared goals, work and learning, pooling energy. I think these are the good people that we're pulling together to find good stuff. And I'm going to tell you about that's it. And then the last card was the Ace of Wands, which was rejection, false start, delays, blocks, lack of direction, passion, distractions, lack of energy, hesitancy, and creative block. And that's going to conclude the video. Like I said, y'all tell me
was
where y'all
completely innocent of something and I was going in front of a court and it was going to be a televised situation, I would want the cameras there for everyone in the world to see my truth. I would want everyone and the most people possible to know my truth. So the fact that Brian's okay with the cameras being taken out has kind of always bothered me because, I'm on the fence about what's happening here. And I'm really more concerned about, where the DNA samples were that John Daniels acquired from Brian Koberger's apartment from the search warrant for the first 10 days before they were put where they were supposed to be. And we've got no real information about where they were or what was going on to that piece of evidence, or shall I say those 3 pieces of evidence for those 10 days, right? We have all of these issues with the IGG stuff and all this secrecy. If things were more open, like a lot of these cases, they're clear cut and dry. They're black and white. You can't really sit there and pick them apart because they've got it together and it's noticeable. But we don't have that here. And that's why we have so many questions. This isn't like a lot of cases. That's the reason why it has so much attention. It's not just the fact that they're claiming that one man took away 4 lives in a matter of 8 minutes here, because that's what they're trying to tell us, guys. That is what they're trying to tell us. But also the way that things were happening, the way that things were found, a lot of this stuff It just doesn't add up. It's not mathing to me. And I am not a complete idiot. I am not a fool. I'm not the smartest person on the planet. I know I've been wrong plenty of times, but there's just things here that just don't math to me. And I don't want the wrong person to be, put in front of a firing squad, but I don't want the wrong person to be let go either. If he's the one who did it, then they need to literally show their smoking gun. But I think that they thrive on this chaos. I really think that they do, because they can complain all they want to, okay, about true crimers and people coming to the area to take a look of what's going on and people talking about that area and blah, 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 blah. But how much money are they making? How much money are the businesses in that town making off of people coming in and being astonished by what's happening in this case? How much money is the university making because people are intrigued and feel sympathetic for the situation and they're just writing checks and adding additional zeros way more than normal? They can complain all they want to, but let's face it, let's just be realistic here. They all love the attention. So it just basically goes on to state that there's not going to be any statements by the defense, the prosecutor's office, the investigators, or law enforcement about the demolition because of the gag order. And then it goes on to give instructions for the media, because they know that the media is going to be there paying attention, recording everything, probably live streaming everything. I can pretty much sit here and see 4 different YouTubers' faces in my head that are probably going to show up there and be live streaming on their channel as this is going down on the 28th. For real. I wonder how the families are taking this. I know that a few of them, well, most of them, 3 out of.
Okay, y'all, don't forget to go to Jules' page. I'm going to put a link in my video. I'm going to go ahead and get this uploaded for y'all. Y'all have a good day.